It's Show for a Show and a whole lot more. How you doing?
And eye boogers.
Natalie is picking. Well, they don't know that. So, Natalie told me to start because she'd be here in a second. So, she'll be here in probably knowing her a couple minutes. I shared a wonderful story. I gave you a choice. I mean, it wasn't a wonderful story. But I gave you a choice if you wanted to hear the story about the guy arrested with a skeleton in his car, or you wanted to hear about the art student and the picture at the museum. And you chose...
Skeleton.
Skeleton, which was a story of a guy in the HOV lane who got pulled over and he had a skeleton as the passenger. He dressed the skeleton in a white sweatsuit with a wig.
Which is totally normal.
Well, he had a choice between that and a mannequin or a blow-up doll. And I would have chosen the skeleton as well, I think. I think there's less explanation to do if and when you do get pulled over. Or if and when your friends go, hey, what's that in your passenger seat? I'd rather explain the skeleton than the other.
Is it a blow-up doll?
That's just me. Now, you didn't choose the art student and the museum in the picture.
There's a reason for that.
Why?
I'm not very artsy.
This guy has some kahunas. He's a Polish art student, and he didn't want to wait decades and, well, a whole lifetime and die before his artwork got displayed at a museum, because that's the normal thing, that you have to die before your artwork really gets displayed and you become famous. So when no one was looking, he went to the Warsaw Museum of Art in Poland and hung one of his pictures. And just left.
Without asking?
He just hung it on the wall. I mean, talk about having some, you know what, right there.
Wow, that's great.
The museum, now here's the best part. The museum did figure out that there was an extra picture in the museum, and they did identify it as his, which is a good thing. It's better they identify it as his or as one of their masterpieces going, oh, this one's not supposed to be here, and throw that thing away. They figured out it was his, and they didn't take it down.
Because it was that good?
Well, I don't know if it was that good or not. They moved it. They did move it to the
They were moved by the painting.
Which is good for art. They actually moved it to the snack bar. So it's still on display.
It's on display next to Bertha's turkey a la king.
Yeah, and this dude's like, hey, you know what? He's displayed in the art museum.
Hey, Andy Barber.
So that's pretty
How you
sweet.
guys doing?
We're doing the show for the show. Come say hi.
Oh, that's
Jim
cool.
just
I've
told
been
a
on it
really
for long
funny
time.
story.
Andy Barber from Star 103.33333.
That's classic rock for dead people.
No, it's not.
They're all dead. I'm playing dead
Well, we
people
were just
live.
talking about skeletons, so it's a good thing.
Hey, you want to see my new knee?
Yeah, Andy just got back from surgery, had a knee replacement done.
Yeah, that's
An
pretty
ear
cool.
replacement.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Huh?
So he goes for rehab. I don't think you heard this, Natalie. He goes for rehab like every day or something like that. And
I do.
And the nurse like has to bend his knee back. And she says, she bends it back until you tell her what?
If I see black, that means I'm going to pass out. And I always go, I'm seeing black. She goes, what?
And pulling it.
Keep pulling. All right. Well, I'm voting for Garth Brooks because he's in the right. He's for his mom. Yes!
Andy is.
Garth Brooks. Yes.
Andy Barber,
Win
everybody.
it, baby. Win it.
Andy'd be totally that guy that just hang his painting. Because he would be that convinced
That his
that it's
artwork was
that good. Yeah. That was a funny
He's, by the
story.
way, in case you missed it, Garth is in court. That's why Andy's voting for Garth. Because he gave. I remember the story when it came out when he gave the $500,000 to the hospital in Yukon.
Mm-hmm.
And then part of the deal was that they were going to name a wing or a building or a hallway or a room or a bed or a porta potty.
Something
After his mom.
after his mom.
They're gonna name
Porta
something.
potty.
Well, then the hospitals didn't. They said, no, it wasn't part of the deal, the naming rights, but we had the money and Garth wanted his money back, saying if you're not going to name. So they're in court now to figure out, I guess, if he gets the money back or if he gets the name. I don't know which way it's going to be, you know?
You know what's weird is like, they said that he did it anonymously and, what is the word? Like,
Anonymously?
to be nice. But they used a word. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But Garth does that all the time, too.
What, to be nice? He uses this word?
Well, he always just does things randomly, like just because.
Well, I mean, and
He
part
had
of the
his
deal
whole
is
Hallmark card line of just because cards.
Well, yeah, but his mom died of cancer, and I mean, he was doing a great thing, and for part of it, for whatever reason, he wanted it named after her, which is great.
Yeah.
And theoretically, they reneged on their agreement and contract.
Well, what
to contract.
stinks, do you think it's going to hurt him in court if they're like, you, Garth Brooks, you helped someone at Home Depot the other day without saying you were going to do it?
Would that hurt him?
Yeah. You weren't listening.
You helped someone at Home Depot without asking him.
Right.
I'm not really sure what that has to do with the case.
Because that's what they're saying he did, is that he anonymously did this from the bottom of his heart. Gave the 500 grand.
Yeah, he honestly, but the thing was, is his understanding is that he would have the wing named after his mom, and they then said no, the naming was not part of your giving him the money. So
Never mind.
And he wants
I
the
just
money
said
back.
that.
I know. I don't know what that has to do with Home Depot. I'm confused. I'm glad you're not on the lawyer. So there is the picture album that's also World Today.
But you're not a lawyer.
Not only do they have an article about him, but they also seem to want to do a photo album of Garth and Trisha. And then you go to the back, and there have never been this many pictures in any story since Tower Man. More pictures. Garth, and Trisha.
Do what you did to me and see if they can figure it out. Well, I guess you just.
No,
told
I'm
them.
not gonna say it because people could construe that as me. I don't want to do that.
Oh well,
I'd
I guess
rather
you
not.
just told them who it was.
Yeah, know that too. Ignore Natalie with what you just said.
Ignore everything I've said today.
All right. Anyways, if you're at Home Depot and Garth does something nice for you, and you don't want him to do something nice for you, will that help you in court? When you gave $500,000 and wanted naming rights, and it wasn't part of the deal, theoretically, according to the hospital, but you say it was, and now you want your money back, and they don't want to give you your money back. Let's go to court. Andy Barber's voting for Garth. Go hang a picture in the museum and see what it can do for your career. Show me for the show and a whole lot more.